good people. Welcome to Melanated Vibrations, a new show that celebrates the diversity and richness of Black culture. Join us as we delve into our individual mental health and overall mental health of our community. From the latest trends to the timeless coping mechanisms, we'll showcase the best of what it means to be mentally healthy. So sit back, relax, and get ready to feel the vibrations of Black excellence. Let's get started.
Happy Monday! Hi guys, Happy New Year! It's 2024. Can you guys believe that? 2024. If you are watching this show right now, that means that you made it to 2024. So give yourself a pat on the back, because there are a lot of people that did not come into the new year with us. I'm so glad to have all of you guys. So glad to see what this year has for us with Melanated Vibrations, just the BEN all together, and all of the dope shows that come on to this network. I'm super excited. I'm ready. I'm geared up. So I know you guys probably weren't thinking we were going to have a show today, but why wouldn't I have a show on the first day of the new year to get you guys started, to get you guys in the positive mindset of what 2024 can have for us and the endless possibilities. I hope you guys had a good holiday. I hope your Christmas, if you celebrated, was fun. It was filled with family. Even if you stayed in the house by yourself and just got some much needed rest and relaxation, I hope that you were able to do that. For myself, I spent time with my family. It was great. Glad for the holidays to be over. Tired of spending money. So here we are into a new year. So what better way to join the 2024 new year is to talk about boundaries. So I know a lot of people, they set New Year's resolutions. I don't have any New Year's resolutions. I think for me, it's going to be the same as always. Just better yourself, right? Better your mental health, better your physical well-being, to better your spiritual well-being, to get spiritually connected. So not much of a resolution, but that is what my goals are for the 2024 year. Shout out to all my people that put gym at the top of their 2024 resolution, said I'm going to work out, I'm going to go to the gym. Y'all got that. I tried it last year. I was good for a good 2 months, and then I was over it. It happened very quickly. I'm not a gym rat like some people. I don't mind the gym, but that is not going to be my resolution. So I hope you guys are having a great day. Hope you guys didn't drink too much yesterday, but if you did, thank you for joining. If you just logged on to the stream, make sure that you are tagging your folks in. Make sure you are sharing the stream. If you are on YouTube, make sure that you're sharing. If you're on Facebook, share. Tag your folks in, and let's get started. So I'm setting my intention as the first day of the new year. I am bringing into this space a fresh start, because why not? My word of affirmation is gratitude. While I am extremely grateful to be here, I'm extremely grateful to have all of you guys. We do not look at you guys as fans. You are family. So thank you for always tuning in each and every Monday to Melanated Vibrations, only on the Big Exclusive Network. So, like I said, 2024, we got to start it off correct, right? So we got our New Year's resolutions, new year, new me, right? We do all of those cute little cliche things. We say all those cute cliche things. And then somewhere around March or April, all of those things fade away. So I want to give you guys something that will not fade away. These are things that you are going to take with you, and you're going to use them for the duration of 2024 and beyond. So let's talk about boundaries. So what are boundaries, right? We hear it a lot. I have boundaries. You don't have boundaries. Boundaries are very simple. It's just a line in the sand. You are drawing a line in the sand to let people know how you want to be treated, how you want someone to talk to you, how you want them to communicate with you, how you want to be loved, how you want to be appreciated, all of those things. Boundaries are just really a set, I don't want to say rules, but in a sense, kind of a set of rules of how you want to be treated and vice versa, right? So boundaries are important. Everyone does not have them. So we're going to work through what boundaries are, kind of how they show up, what are poor boundaries, and some steps to take in order to have healthy boundaries. 2024 is a good year if you've had none of them before. It's a really good time to start creating boundaries for yourself and how you relationship with other people. First day of the year, we're going to start off right, okay? So we're not going to just use these until about March or April, the same time most of y'all going to go to the gym. Get out them people way, okay? For those people that are like true gym rats that really do truly go to the gym all the time, and if you new people, get out them people way, okay? They've been working out all these years. Get out their way, okay? Just go New Year's resolution to gym somewhere else, but leave them people at Planet Fitness alone, okay? Let them people do their workout that they've been doing for umpteen years before you decided to change and get healthy. Now, I'm not telling you not to get healthy, just get out them people's way, okay? So, let's think about boundaries, right? We've kind of been taught boundaries since we have been children, or really, should I say, the lack thereof of boundaries. So, since childhood, I want you to think about that childhood memory, how our parents always told us, particularly in the Black household, you know, go over there, go over there and give such and such a hug, go over there and talk to such and such, right? We never thought of that being a lack of boundary, even though we felt uncomfortable, or maybe we had a little social anxiety and we didn't really want to go say hi to such and such or go hug such and such. But because the era we were born in and we were raised in, it was kind of rude, quote unquote, rude to not go say hi to such and such. So this is what we were taught as children. So from childhood, right, we're often taught to bend our own morals, right, and our own comfortability so that everyone else can feel comfortable. But sometimes this message is implied in dress code. You think about it. Students have to wear uniforms to school. To me, I think kids should be able to wear what they want. They should be able to express themselves as long as it's an appropriate outfit. But when you think about it, a school dress code could be one of those ways. Or sometimes it is something that is so direct where, again, our parents don't even care how uncomfortable we were. It was, well, go hug such and such and go say hi to such and such, because if not, then it came off rude. But the reality of is that we've been having lack of boundaries since we were young. I always tell my son, I'm a very big advocate that if my son does not feel comfortable saying hi, he's a very pleasant kid. My son will say hi to almost anybody. But if he walks in a room and he has a weird feeling, or he doesn't want to speak or say hi to someone or give them a hug, I'll let him do it from a distance. He's always close by to me. But I'm not forcing my child to go give such and such a hug, or go give such and such a kiss, or tell such and such I love you. He don't love you. As a parent, it is our job to protect our kids, so we have to make sure that we are teaching them, even at that young of an age, what boundaries are and how to have healthy boundaries. So it's no wonder some of us find it difficult to set appropriate boundaries as we get older. We don't want to offend or hurt others, even when the avoidance ultimately means hurting ourselves. We've been taught from a young age to put the feelings of others ahead of our own needs, to the point that many of us don't even know the answer to the question of what are boundaries, let alone how to set them. Because since we've been young, this is what we've been taught. So, what are personal boundaries? So, a personal boundary, basically, again, it's just lines that we draw for ourselves in terms of our level of comfort around others. It is our line in the sand that we draw to tell others how to treat us and what feels comfortable and what feels good and what feels right to us. Now, these boundaries may have to do with physical contacts, not feeling comfortable hugging a person you've just met, right? I know a lot of people, their love language is physical touch, or people are just very touchy. So some people want to hug to embrace you when they first meet you. But if you have a boundary where that's not something that you like to do, then that is something that needs to be communicated. Verbal interactions. This is not wanting a friend or family member to speak down to you. I think this is a super important one. Sometimes, as many of us have learned, it's not so much of what you say, but it's how you say it. So oftentimes, a lot of our friends or families will talk down to us, and I don't think they intentionally do it for the most part, but there are people that will talk down to us. And so that is a personal boundary that we can work on and be able to effectively communicate that, hey, you're not wrong in what you said, but I don't really like your tone. or however you feel like you need it to word, to be worded, as long as it's in a respectful manner on both ends. We even have our own personal space. That's a boundary, right? Choosing to not have others in your home when you aren't there. That's a boundary. If you live by yourself or have a place and you do not want someone in your house when you are not there, uh that is okay to express. That is a great way to tell somebody you don't got to leave, you just can't stay here. However you need to say it. That is a boundary and that is okay. So these boundaries typically fall into a few specific categories. So you have emotional boundary, which is protecting your own emotional well-being. That's your right, right? Physical, protecting our physical space. I'm one of those people, I don't like people in my personal space. It's not my thing. Please back up. 6 feet, please. Sexual, protecting our needs and safety sexually. Workplace boundaries, protecting our ability to do our work without interference or drama, right? Some of us just do our 8 and skate. We want to clock in and we're going to go to lunch and then we want to leave. We're not here to make friends. It's okay to tell somebody, no, I don't want to be friends with you on social media. I know oftentimes people start working together. They're like, oh, girl, what's your handle? What's your IG? No, the answer is no. We don't have to lie and tell people we don't have social media. A simple no, thank you. I like to keep my personal life personal, and I like to keep work is perfectly fine for you to say to your coworkers. Most of them just want to be newsy anyway and get on your page and see what's on there so they have some tea to talk about. So if you're not comfortable like me, I have a business page. Everyone can follow my business page, Melanated_Vibration. I post daily, different mental health pages that I follow, different things to kind of get people throughout the day. But my personal page is a no-go. Even my Facebook page, which is now a business page, but I still have things that when I do post, I select my audience. So I will choose to post certain things that are just for my friends on Facebook, and then I will have things that I will post for the public, of course, so that I can get in the algorithm and that people can repost and repost and repost. It is okay to tell your coworkers, even some of your families, that you don't want to follow them on social media. No, they can't follow you back. I could show you guys my list of friend requests that have been sitting there. I got people that's been sitting there for 52 weeks and they will continue to sit there because my personal life is my personal life and my work life is something different. The last one, or last two, material. I know this sounds weird, right? But protecting our personal belongings. We work hard for our stuff, right? We work hard for that car. We work hard for the clothes we buy. We work hard for the bag. I don't care if it's a hair clip. You worked for it. It is your personal belonging. And time, protecting the use and misuse of our time. I'm very punctual. I am very much of a person that is on time for stuff, but apparently the circle of friends that I have grown to love, they are not so. I can't tell you one friend that I have that is on time every single time I need them to be. They're always late. So that is a personal boundary for me, is time. I hate waiting for people. I like to just be there, get done what we need to get done, and then get on about the way. So boundaries can also exist in a variety of situations. Again, at work, at home, when visiting family, and when out with friends. So I want to dive into 4 of the boundaries that I just talked about. The first one is sexual boundaries. I know we probably shouldn't have boundaries when we talk about sex, but that is completely wrong. We definitely should have boundaries when we talk about sex. Why wouldn't there be boundaries when we talk about sex? So, what is a sexual boundary? So, when beginning a new intimate relationship, or even if it's not new and it's something that you've been doing for a while and you just never kind of thought to have this talk, come on in, sit down, let me tell you about it. It's always a good idea to sit down with your partner first so that you can discuss each other's sexual boundaries. This can be a conversation you prompt by saying things like, I'm looking forward to taking the next step in our relationship, but I'd like to take a moment to talk about what that might look like. So from there, you can communicate things you are not comfortable with in an intimate situation. I think we talked a little bit about this before, but again, you know how we guys feel over here at the BEN about consent, 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 consent. That is the word. You look at all the stuff that's going on in social media right now with a lot of these celebrities. Feels like some things were consensual, other things were just kind of thrown in there. So when you talk about sexual boundaries, It is important that you communicate with your partner what it is that you are comfortable with. What is it that you would like to do when it comes to anything sexual in the bedroom with your partner? And what is things that you're just not so comfortable with? Now, the good thing about that is if it's something that you are not comfortable with, but your partner wants to try, then again, this is where communication is key. You have that conversation with your partner. It's also important to kind of understand if the reason why your partner does not want to do this sexual act or be sexual in this way, is it due to trauma? Is there something that has occurred in your partner's life that makes them uncomfortable to want to do this thing? Now, if it's nothing traumatic that has happened to them, they just, in their mind, they're like, nah, I'm not doing that. That's too much. Then that's when you should have a conversation with your partner like, hey, is there a reason why you don't want to do it? If it's still just a no, they don't want to do it, that's okay too, because again, we want to make sure that we are respecting boundaries on both ends. So when we are giving boundaries to people that we want them to respect, we also need to make sure that they respect their boundary. Now, you may get a partner where after maybe you've talked about it and kind of worked out the kinks, where they may actually be okay with trying whatever it is that you wanted to try. You just never know. That is why communication is key. So, when it comes to sexual boundaries, it is very important that you talk to your partner about what they are comfortable with, what you are comfortable with, what's a complete, absolute no go in the bedroom, and what they are willing to try. Let's talk about workplace boundaries. Now, we kind of talked about this with the whole social media thing, but it goes a little deeper than that. So, workplace boundaries. The best way to establish a workplace boundary is to first set the tone and how you will conduct yourself professionally, right? So, if you go into a new job or you are currently at a job and you are there, you're trying to be everyone's friend, or you have not set very stern boundaries to begin with, and you are ha ha kiki the jokester, then that is most likely how people will see you. So the moment that you try to set boundaries, they may be like, you're just joking. So I'll give you an example. So at my job, I'm a supervisor, I'm a truancy supervisor. I'm very friendly with my staff because it's not the military. I don't need to be militant. I don't need to be super uptight. But there is a line in the sand. Remember, because we're talking about boundaries, there's a line in the sand where my staff knows that as much as I ha ha key with them, I will write y'all asses up. Do your job. If you at the moment you are not productive, then we have a problem. So for me, that is my boundary. While yes, I will always advocate for my team. Um, I'm always jumping in the line of fire. Sometimes I move on out the way and let that fire hit them, because I've told you guys 72 million times to not do that or to do it this way. You choose to do things your way. That is a workplace boundary for me, where I always, at the top of everything, is professionalism. That is how I came into this job, is to be very professional. Now, they do know that I can be both professional and I can be a jokester at the same time. But it is all about how you come into the workplace. So if you come in as a professional and then you show the softer side, what I used to say, the softer side of Sears, right? If you show that softer side, then people know that there is a balance between the two. So again, that is my workplace boundary. I started off professional. Yes, I ha ha kiki with them, but they know the moment that I have to be their supervisor, then it becomes very different. So you want to make sure that when you enter any type of workspace, no matter what your profession is that you always enter with some level of professionalism. That is how you set the tone of what the boundary will be. Got to set the tone somewhere. Why not start there? So it should reflect the professional manner you hope others will return when engaging with you, right? So when you are in the workplace, I know a lot of times being in the workplace, especially as a woman in the workplace, and even men, right? It happens to men too, but I'll speak for the women. Sometimes being in the workplace, depending on like what you wear, just how you carry yourself, you may have people, men and or women these days, right, that may try to make little passes at you, right, that may feel like, oh, they're flirting, yada yada yada, and that's fine, right? If that is what you are at work looking for, kudos to you. That is not what I'm at work looking for. This is why it is important to have some type of work boundaries. Because if this is something that makes you uncomfortable with the guy that tells you every day you smell so good, all right, not too much. You're being a creep and I don't like it, okay? So you have to make sure that you set those boundaries ahead of time. So if you have that guy that gives you a compliment on your perfume every day, or how you dress, or the way you wear your hair, or maybe they're just noticing a little bit too much, it is okay for you to set a workplace boundary and to remind them that we are at work and let's keep this professional. I think a lot of times it's nothing wrong with a compliment. That is completely fine. But if it ever makes you feel uncomfortable, or you feel like maybe you've allowed that type of relationship to happen, it is important that you go back to setting your boundaries on both ends. It's how you stay out of HR. So, from there, setting workplace boundaries is often a matter of waiting until a boundary has been crossed. So, kind of like the example I just gave you, before addressing a situation. So, for instance, if a colleague talks down to you in a meeting, we all know there are bosses out there, people, co-workers. You got the one person that got the same title as you, but they think they the supervisor. They think they your supervisor and everybody else supervisors. So they be out here trying to shout commands at you. We all know that person, right? So if you ever have a colleague that talks down to you in a meeting, you can approach them afterwards and explain to them why that was unacceptable and what you need for them to do in the future. That is completely okay. All right. Okay. Copier Katie is not your supervisor. Okay. She's not your supervisor. Okay. They're not your boss. All right. Your boss is administrative assistant, is not your boss. She's an AA, respectfully. Okay. She is an administrative assistant and she should act accordingly. Okay. That's all I'm saying. Okay. Copier Katie is not your boss. All right. And so if you ever feel like you're in a workplace, and I do understand that in a lot of work settings, microaggressions happen, especially when you are an African American. It is very hard sometimes for us to curve our tongues. We really be wanting to say some stuff. I really want to tell you to back the F up, but I can't because I kind of like this job. When you are in a situation at work where you feel like you are being there's a microaggression against you, or you feel like you're being talked down to, or someone's tone is a little weird, or they just doing a little bit too much for your liking. Again, Copier Katie is not your boss, okay? The AA is not your supervisor. She's an administrative assistant. Tell her to go answer some phones, okay? That's what she do. She answers phones and she responds to emails. There is a appropriate way to pull someone to the side. I'm not telling you guys to make a scene. You do not have to respond and react right then and there. In your head, you can sit there and be like, who the okay, now you play with my paycheck, right? We go through all of those emotions when we feel like we are being tested and tried at a job. It is okay that if someone talks down to you, or someone talks to you in a way that you feel they have crossed that line in the sand that's not appropriate to you, so pull that person to the side and say, hey, listen, I heard what you said in the meeting. I absolutely agree, disagree, whatever it is, but I didn't like your tone. Your tone seemed a little passive aggressive, or it seemed aggressive. It's not so much of what you said, but it is how you said it. And so I just wanted to bring that to your attention going forward. You have stated your piece. Now it is up for you as the person who is drawing that line in the sand, that the next time that happens, hopefully there's no next time. Hopefully they heard you. No, I'm sorry. Hopefully they were listening. Because I told you guys there's a difference between hearing and listening. People hear to respond, but you must listen to process. I'll say it again. People hear to respond, but they don't listen to process. When you hear someone, you are hearing just enough of what they said so that you can rebuttal and you can respond. But you have not let that person fully finish their statement, whatever they were saying, or they are talking and in your head, all you hear is the Charlie Brown, wah, 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 wah. That's all you hear because they said one word that triggers you. So you stopped listening and now you're in rebuttal mode. Now you just need to get out and say what you need to say. But when you truly listen to a person, you're taking in everything that person is saying. You are processing it. You're taking in all the words. You're listening to the tone of how they're saying it. You're paying attention to the body language of how they're saying it. You're taking it all in. You're listening with both of your ears. You got one mouth, two ears. So you're listening. And then after you've processed what that person has said, now you are going to respond. So keep that in mind. There's a difference between hearing and there is a difference between listening. So again, if you are at work, okay, and Copier Katie is trying to tell you how to do your job, or you're ever in a meeting or anything like that, okay, and you don't like the tone of someone's, how they said something to you in a meeting, please don't cuss them out in front of the other big wigs. Don't cuss them out in front of your coworkers. Pull that person to the side. Hey, listen, I heard what you said. I did not like your tone of it. That is a workplace boundary. So if you have a colleague who ritually violates your work boundary, don't hesitate to get HR involved. Yeah, that's great advice right there. Okay. I'm big on going to HR. Okay. We all gonna have a meeting now. And I want you to keep that same energy you had with me while we're there with HR. Okay. That's my little tidbit for today. If they keep doing it after you've established your boundary, you've had the conversation, you've said it pleasantly, respectfully, I'm not big on repeating myself. What I am big on doing is documentation, and then I'm going to HR. So those are good words right there. So that is a workplace boundary. Now let's get into material boundaries. So let's say you have a camper that's a close friend, right? Or you got that good girlfriend that want to borrow your jeans, borrow your bag, whatever. I don't know what men borrow. They want to borrow your Timbs, your sneakers, right? Whatever. It doesn't matter. They want to borrow it. They're going on a family trip, a work trip. They going out with their bae, whatever, right? So you're open to letting them use whatever it is that they are asking to borrow. That bag, those sneakers, those boots. I don't know what people share. I'm not big on sharing. I grew up an only child, so it's not my thing. But say you're open to sharing, right? But you also want to make sure that they take care of it the way that you would take care of it. You ever given somebody, you let them borrow something, and when they give it back to you, they didn't give it back to you the way you gave it to them? And you be sitting there like you let them borrow a purse, but you know for sure it wasn't no ruffled crumbs in the bottom of that damn purse when you gave it to them because it was cleaned out because it's you. Or you gave them jeans, but now it's rips and stuff in there that you know for sure didn't come with the jeans when you bought them or when you gave them to them. Right. Something like that. Okay. You want to make sure, one, that whoever you are letting borrow or lend, because they need to understand this is, I'm letting you borrow it. I'm lending it to you. It is not yours. I do expect it back. That's a whole other conversation. You want to make sure, one, that the person that you are letting borrow or lend this stuff to is someone that you know is going to take care of it the way that you would take care of your stuff. Because again, these are your prized possessions. You worked hard for it. Again, I don't care if it's a hair clip. I don't care if it's a $2 bill. Whatever it is, it's yours. So in this case, it's perfectly acceptable to outline your boundaries for caring and writing, providing instructions for cleanup and general care. Written instructions placed inside of whatever you're giving that person, or a simple text message, for that friend to kind of look back on and to help you and to help them make sure that the boundaries are clear. Think about it this way. I know that may seem like that's a lot. Like, this is my friend. It's just a bag. It's just a pair of jeans. It's just the until they give it back to you, and it's not given back in the way that you wanted it to be given back to you. And now you got an attitude, and now the friendship is over because they just scuffed up your damn Timbs, or they done put a hole in your favorite pair of jeans, right? It's just until you get it back and it's not in the condition. Think about it another way. Think about it from a business standpoint. When we have events, right? Whether we rent an Airbnb, whether we rent a venue, what's their expectation? They basically are telling you what their boundaries are. Their boundaries are that I'm going to lend you this facility and you are going to return it the same way I lended it to you. So think about it in that aspect. It's literally the same thing. Yes, it's just a handbag. Yes, it's just a pair of jeans. Yes, it's just a pair of shoes. Yes, it's just a hair clip. It doesn't matter. It's yours, and that is your boundary that you are allowed to have. I just did a baby shower for one of my closest friends. The rules were absolutely crazy, but I understood it from a business standpoint. So I rented this venue, got an entire list of the do's, the don'ts, what you're allowed to have. You couldn't put tape on the wall. I was just like, well, how am I supposed to hang up decorations if I can't put tape on the wall? But that was a whole other conversation. So whatever. But that is their boundaries. They just don't use the word boundaries. They use contract. It's literally the same thing. So when you go into a different facility, again, an Airbnb, a venue, they have their rules and regulations of how they want their place to be left. Back in broom swept condition, no damages done. That's even why some people hold like a security deposit just in case you don't return the items or the place back the way it was. It's a good way to think about it when it comes to your material boundaries. Now, here is one of my favorites. Time boundaries. Again, like I told you guys, I have friends and I love all my friends. If you guys are out there watching, they're never on time for stuff. They're never on time, ever, ever. I don't care. Down to my son's father. He's just never on time. People are not on time. And this is okay to have a time boundary with people. So a time boundary. People tend to fall within two categories when it comes to time. Those who run late to everything, okay? And those who tend to think that if you're early, you're late. Yeah, that's me. I'm okay with being early and considering that late. Okay? It's two type of people in the world. If you are the latter, you'll likely feel as though your boundaries are often intruded on by the former. This is actually a very simple solution to navigate. However, okay, because this will start a lot of arguments. Decide in your mind how long you're willing to wait beyond on an agreed upon meeting time. Okay. So in your mind, you need to figure out, listen, and this even goes with the dating, right? If you were on a date or you're going to go out with somebody, I don't know what y'all time frame is, but if I'm on a date and we say we're going to meet at 7, you got until about a good 7:15 before I'm waiter, check please. Because while I'm waiting, I'm going to have me a glass of wine. I'm going to have me a glass of wine. I'm going to have me a double shot of tequila or something. I'm going to have me a beverage. Okay. By the time I finish my wine, and you got 15 minutes because first of all, it doesn't take that long to drink a glass of wine, even a 9 ounce. But usually what I do is I'll take my glass of wine, I'll scroll through social media, I'll look at my videos that my friends have sent me that I've neglected to look at for like 6 days. Because they be sending me a lot at one time. So it'd be a lot. It'd be too many to check all at once. So I will scroll social media and watch my videos. You got into the time I done watched all 27 videos, reacted to them, and finished my wine to get there. Before I decide that I'm texting you, like, yeah, so it looks like we need to reschedule. Mm-hmm. It is okay to set a time boundary. So again, in your mind, decide how long are you willing to wait after the agreed upon time that you guys agreed to meet. Second, give yourself permission to leave or cancel an appointment if that time isn't met. It is okay to leave. It is okay to cancel that appointment. That is a boundary that you have set. Because what will happen is if you have people in your life that are always late, that do not honor or respect your time because they like, oh, he gonna wait, she gonna wait, they gonna be there, they will continuously do that. Me, I'm an on-time person, and if I cannot be on time, I'm going to text you and let you know, hey, running about 10-15 minutes late, there was traffic. And this is me leaving on time. Now, I understand that some things we cannot help. Could have been a car accident, bad weather. For me, I know it's always like my kid. Like he waits until I'm on time, I'm ready to walk out the door. Now he hungry, but I already fed you. Like just anything that can throw a monkey in a wrench, he is going to do. Now he hungry again. You know, as a mother, I can't walk out the door, even though I know I just fed you an hour ago, but okay. Or just anything that can go wrong is going to go wrong. So I do understand that life happens. What I'm saying is, if you have a person or anybody in your life where you're the on-time person, but every time you try to meet up with this person, they're always late, it is okay to leave they ass, okay, if they are not there on time or at the agreed upon time. So if you know this person is late all the time, you can simply say to them like, hey, I know our reservation is at 7. I know you're usually late. You got until 7:15 to get here, and then I'm leaving. Or what I used to do is, when my ex and I used to go out, he was always late. So what I would do is I would tell him dinner was at a certain time, but I really already had the reservation booked for like 30 to 45 minutes after, because I knew he was going to be late. We have people like that in our lives, so we make accommodations. But if you are one of those people where you're like, okay, enough accommodations, enough's enough, then don't do it anymore. You don't have to. It's okay to have a time boundary. Number 3, if you're dealing with someone who is perpetually late, always late, always late. We all know those people. Some of y'all, and some of y'all is those people. Okay? Not are. Some of y'all is those people. Okay? Communicate this to them ahead of time. Let them know you will be leaving after a certain amount of time has passed. Still try not to sound like you are accusing them of doing it on purpose. Consider acknowledging that you two have different personalities. You're not trying to change them, but you need to set time boundaries for yourself because you can't afford or don't want to wait any longer. That is okay to do, guys. Okay. So again, we're not accusing anybody for purposely doing it. I mean, now it depends on who the person is. Again, some people are just late people. They're just always going to be late people. Some people do it on purpose. They know they're supposed to be there at 7:00. They live an hour away. They're going to try to leave at 6:45. You're not going to get there in 15 minutes when you live on the other side of the city, right? Some people just do it. The reality of it is, though, that if you have those people in your life, or you are that person, put yourself on the other side of that and try to be considerate. Set a time boundary. I'm willing to wait 15 minutes past the time you are supposed to be here, whether it's 15 minutes, a half an hour. The choice is yours. I'm not telling anybody what to do, what boundaries to have. Me, I'm a 15-minute kind of gal. Okay, you got 15 minutes to get here unless you are communicating with me the entire time. Now, like my friends that are usually late, all my friends, my sister, they all have kids, right? So I understand kids be kidding. Okay. That's what they do. I just gave y'all an example of my son when I am walking out the door, dress, coat on, ready to zoom, zoom, zoom. He needs something. Something has died. His phone, his iPad. He's hungry. He needs a snack, something. And so I get it. So with my friends with kids, I give them a little bit more grace. But again, I also know my friends well enough to know that if I say dinner's at 7, you're not going to get there until 7:30. Reservations weren't until 7:30 anyway, but we're just not going to talk about it. I was going to sit at the bar anyway and wait for you to get there. That is my boundary that I have. But it's also something that I realize with my friend circle. They are who they are, right? Now, let's talk about what are poor boundaries. There are such things as poor boundaries. There's healthy boundaries and there are poor boundaries. So let's talk about what poor boundaries look like. And then we're going to end with what are the steps to setting boundaries. Again, it's 2024, first day of the new year. Let's kick it off right. Again, for all those people that have made your New Year resolutions, shout out to y'all. I'm not doing it. I'm not giving up anything, but I will make sure that everything that I do, that I am here to better myself. I'm not giving up tequila. I don't care what y'all say. What else I'm not giving up? I love hookah. We taking hookah into 2024. I'm not going to the gym. Get out those people's way, okay? Get out those people's way. Let them people that's been working out since the beginning of the time work out, okay? Get out. Planet Fitness is about to get all y'all money and half of y'all not even going to go to the gym. I just want to remind y'all of that. I don't want y'all to think I forgot. But let's talk about poor boundaries. So what are poor boundaries? People with poor boundaries typically, they come in 2 flavors too, right? So those who take too much responsibility for the emotions and actions of others, and those who expect others to take too much responsibility for their own emotions and actions. Let me say that again for those in the back. Poor boundaries come in 2 flavors. The first one is, I don't care if they're vanilla, chocolate, strawberry. I don't really care. Pick a flavor. You either take way too much responsibility for the emotion and actions of others. You are taking too much responsibility because you're trying to accommodate people. Don't do that. Put your hand down. Stop holding your hand out trying to take people's stuff. I'm going to slap your hand like you're a child. Put it down. That don't belong to you. Put your hands down. Or you are this person who will try to force others to take on more responsibility for your own emotions and actions. I ain't calling nobody out, but y'all know who y'all are out there. So, which flavor are you? Interestingly enough, right? These two type of people often end up in relationships together. Who would have thought, right? Most of the time, these type of people that end up in relationships with each other that either take on too much emotional and action responsibility of others are codependent people. So they have some type of codependency or some type of love addiction that they are willing just to make that appease that person and to make them happy, that they are willing to take on responsibility of how that other person reacts, responds, and feels about a thing versus the person who feels those things are trying to force you, right? So it's kind of like a manipulation tactic. If you ever have someone, and I'm not using the word narcissist here because I know that's what y'all waiting for. I'm not using that. We're going to leave that word in 2023. Unless y'all using it properly, then y'all can bring it over in 24. Those two type of people usually are codependent and love addicts. And in a love addicted relationship, one of those people are going to be a love addict and the other person is going to be a love avoidant. That is a topic we will definitely get into, the difference between a love addict, a love avoidant, and a codependent person. But when you have someone that is willing to appease someone, that they're willing to take on all the emotional strain of that other person, even though they had nothing to do with how that person feels about a thing, they're not responsible for that person's actions, but they take it on because they want to appease that person. Or you have the manipulative person that is trying to put the responsibility and the blame on everyone else for how they feel about a thing instead of a person standing in their own stuff. We're not doing that in 2024, guys. We're going to learn accountability and we're going to take it. I know the men out there think that women can't take accountability, and I like to be the first to say, I do. I have no problem taking my accountability because, again, I don't need nobody feeling like they got one up on me or they can hold anything on me. Ladies, in 2024, take your accountability. We're going to take our accountability. Fellas, y'all not exempt either. Take y'all accountability. That is what we're doing all 2024. If you did it, stand on it. 10 toes down. Stand on business. Whatever y'all little cute cliches is, you said it, you did it, stand on it. There we go. I should do a campaign for 2024. So, some examples of poor boundaries are, tell me if you ever heard these. You can't go with your friends without me. You know how jealous I get. You have to stay home with me. Manipulation, red flag, run for the hills, get out of there. Don't stay in that. Or the, sorry guys, I can't go with you tonight. My girlfriend gets really angry when I go without her. Ladies, let that man go. Let him go out with his friends. Okay. Ladies, let your man go. Or your girlfriend. I don't really care. Let your partner go out with their friends. Sometimes you need a break. Okay. Go and take that bath. Go and light them candles. Get you some Epsom salt because we old now. Listen, get your R&B playlist together and let that man go and go have you a relaxing night to yourself. No need to get angry. No need to get jealous. Let that man go. Fellas, let her go. Let her go out with her friends. She don't got to be up underneath for you all the time, okay? Have a little break. Or my coworkers are idiots and I'm always late to meetings because I have to tell them how to do their jobs. Poor boundaries. Poor boundaries. That's not a good excuse. Let that go. Tell HR. What I just tell y'all? HR. Me and HR is good. I walk right in their office like, hey, it's me again. They already know when I come in here. I'm coming to tell on somebody. Okay. I love to take that job in whatever state, but my mother would never forgive me for moving so far away. Bye. That's a poor boundary, right? If you have an opportunity for greatness to go to another state, to go to another major city, go. Okay. That family member, that relationship, that whatever you're holding on to will be just fine. Boundaries are a form of self-care. Okay. So we have to make sure that, again, we're not pouring from an empty cup. Everything in the cup belongs to you. Everything that runneth over belongs to everyone else. Take that job. Leave this city. Okay. Cheer for that football team. How do you want to talk about that? Very, very, very disturbed. Okay. This is what I'm telling you guys. All right. Last one. I can date you, but can you not tell my friend, he or she gets really jealous when I have a significant other and they don't. Poor boundaries. Poor boundaries. Have friends that want to celebrate whatever your accomplishment is, that new relationship, that new job, that new house. Watch out for those friends and those family members. They be like, all right, you and your little boyfriend, you and your little relationship, your little job, everything little to people, right? That's a hater. Okay? That's a hater. If anybody got to put the word little in front of something that is big to you, that's a hater. And you need to set that boundary and you need to go and get them people on about your life. Okay? So, in each one of these scenarios that I gave you, the person is either taking responsibility for actions or emotions that are not theirs, or they're demanding that someone else take responsibility for their actions. We're not doing that. No more poor boundaries in 2024. So, why are boundaries important? Boundaries can help you assert what you're okay with and what you're not okay with. Personal boundaries and relationships are necessary because you may feel resentful and exhausted without them. Some of us are super beat down and drained because we are not setting boundaries with people that we need to set. And let me say this, right? Boundaries are for everyone. Your mama, your cousin, your daddy, your significant other, your friends, your co-workers. Let's stop holding some people to certain boundaries and other people not to them same boundaries. Some of y'all is letting these men's and women's that y'all have relationships with get away with stuff that your best friend of 20, 30, 40 years can't get away with, that your mom and your cousin and them can't get away with, that Pookie and them can't get away with. Everybody should be held to the same. Now, the boundaries are going to be different because the relationship is different, but boundaries nonetheless need to be there. The line in the sand has and must be drawn. Everyone should have boundaries. Everyone should uphold everyone else to those boundaries. Many have found that setting boundaries improves your mental health and your mood. Without limits, it's hard to be self-aware and independent. If you go along with what everyone else says and does, and you don't ever speak up for what you want to do, you're sacrificing your desire for other people. Boundaries are essential for maintaining your interpersonal relationships. When you set boundaries, you may find your life much more fulfilling. All interpersonal relationships, whether that is a significant other, whether that is a friendship, whether that is a family, again, co-worker, business partner, whatever, boundaries are important because without them, you will feel overwhelmed, you will feel stressed, you will feel drained, you will feel exhausted. How to set boundaries. 4 easy steps, and then we're going to get on out of here, okay? Identifying areas where you need personal boundaries. Write you a list. Identify the areas in your life where you need to implement those boundaries, your personal boundaries. 2, establishing boundaries that are clear and enforceable. No gray areas. Make it black and white. This is my boundary. This is what I expect. And this is how you're going to enforce it. Make them enforceable. Make them realistic. Number 3, communicating your boundaries. Use your words. I say that a lot to you guys. Use your words, okay? Number 4, enforcing your boundaries. Don't just write your little list, check it twice, trying to figure out who's naughty or nice. No, we're not doing any of that, okay? If you're going to create a list of what personal boundaries you want to make and what relationships need those boundaries, and if you're going to communicate with these people about those boundaries, you then need to stand 10 toes down and enforce those boundaries. People don't like boundaries. Again, we're drawing a line in the sand. It's like creating rules for people. People are not going to like it. But if that person cares about you or love you or whatever, has any level of respect for you, they are going to respect your boundaries. You may even help that person create boundaries that they didn't know that they needed. So again, guys, it is 2024. It is January 1st. It is a good day. It is a good time to start something new. Again, don't go to the gym. Get out them people's way. I'm not going to tell you again. That's the 3rd time. I ain't going to say it no more. Okay? But seriously, it is a good time. Today is the first day of a new year. This is where it starts. I want you guys to set your boundaries, hold the people accountable, and effectively communicate with these people why boundaries are important. I promise you it will better your mental health. It will better your mood. You will not feel as exhausted. You will not feel as drained because you have these boundaries. We no longer can be people that allow people to walk all over us. We can no longer pour from an empty cup. Everything in your cup belongs to you. Everything that runneth over belongs to everyone else. And if there's nothing that runneth over, then that's okay too. I love you guys. Make sure you tune in tomorrow, okay? Because we're not done. We got the big exclusive podcast tomorrow at 7 p.m. with big exclusive Angry OG and Top Flight. And, it's going to be straight dust. I'm sure they're going to start the year off, dusty as ever, but a capital D. Then you're going to jump on over to the Ant Money experience on Thursday with my brother, Ant Money, Mr. Ant Rockmore himself, where, listen, if it bleeds, it leads. I'm super excited about that show. You just never know which way it's going to go. You just never know which way it's going to go. But I'm sure he's going to start the year off, too, on some violence. He's going to put his do-rag on, and it's going to be what it needs to be. And so I will see you guys in the comments for the rest of the week. I want you guys to join me back here next Monday, Melanated Vibrations at 7 p.m. I love you guys. If you're going out tonight and you're partying, please drink responsibly. Do not drink and drive. Catch an Uber, catch a Lyft, leave your car there. Make sure you guys are safe. I want to be able to experience you guys all 2024. I love you guys. Thank you for sticking with us. Mwah! See you later. Bye.